Hey guys, I don't know what this is gonna look like. I just found out that I can do canvas size, which stretches out my screen on OBS. So I don't know if I look bigger or if it looks changed in any way on YouTube. I don't know yet. But yeah, I just made that change and now I got a widescreen all of this. So yeah, I don't know what this is gonna look like, if it looks worse or whatnot. I think ChatGPT looks a little wide, but I don't know. I think it looks more wider on camera than it. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, this is the video I've been talking about for March 5th of 2026. I decided to get it done now. I don't want to do it last minute. So we are going to do a little bit of math here. So, following the events of August 24th and September 1st, I knew that there was a deadline for all the handoffs and exchanges to happen on March 5th of 2026. That was a date that was set because it made the most sense. However, there's a bit of a problem with that because there's also 2027, which 3 months later is June 19th of 2027, and I've talked about what happens on that day. So, does it happen on March 5th, 2026 or March 5th of 2027? And I thought about this, and I have to look at it from the perspective of what happens in the years. Like, what's the patterns in the years? That's how I can tell what happens on what year. So is it 2026 or 2027? Or is it both? We're going to go through all this. So, if it's not up to me to decide what happens on 2026 or 2027. It just happens. I can provide a date, but you gotta have some sort of handoff or some sort of signal to listen to. So, what will happen? Let's say this. Let's do the math and figure out, is it 2027 that's the big deal, or is it 2026? Here's what we know. Here's the numbers that we know. We have the years. I don't have sticky notes. Maybe it's a good idea to have sticky notes. That might be a good idea, actually. Let's see, what is in my sticky notes? See, this is why I don't like the screen like this, because now I gotta shrink it down. I guess that works. Let's see, I gotta switch to... You're gonna look at my notes that I have for future videos, by the way. Actually, I have other stuff written here, so I'm gonna scoot that down. Some stuff that I want to reveal on December 12th. Well, it's, what is it? This is going out, I believe, on December 21st. I think I got it set up to. So, yeah, this has already happened. Well, actually, I could show you. It's December 1st, so I gotta think in the future. Alright, I'll just show you. So these were stuff coming out. Show cursor, fine. Alright, I gotta scoot this over. Let's see what this looks like. It's not really aligned. Alright. So these are video ideas. MRR Machine Story. Haven't done that one yet. We got the Trees of Room. Haven't done that yet. Then you got the Shirts to Make Live. I already talked about this on December 12th. I haven't done that video yet, but it's coming before I release this one. So, yeah, these were the shirts that were released on the website. So we got some numbers here. We got number 38, 40, what is it? 41, 44, 2030, 2033, 2026, and we got 2027. All these numbers go together. So let's do hang on, let me do another. Okay, let's start with one I can't remember off the top of my head. Let's do, what is 2030 minus, hang on, 2030 minus 1989. 41. Alright, so we got a 41 on there. Okay, yeah. Like I said, that's the number that's on here. And that's the number. And I know that number from this number. What is 2033 minus 1992? That's also 41. So there's alignment there. So we got 41 equals 2033, and we got 41 equals 2030. So those are matching. So we got that number out of the way. We're gonna remove that. Now we got that number 44. What is 44 doesn't show up twice in the videos that I do. It is past the 8 years, so I don't know the other side of 44. I don't know what happens in another 44, but another 44 would be 2033. Well, actually, it's 2033 minus 1989. And that would be 44. Alright. So I got that cleared. Now another date is 2030. 38 equals 2030 as well. That comes from what is 1992? What is 2030 minus 1992? And that would be 38. So we got that number. So, with that said, we can take a number. So, this is what was kind of strange, because I knew that I had to go to Ukraine. Now, I was debating on going to Ukraine in 2029 or 2030. Because if Maria flies in September 20th of 2029, then why do I need to stay here until 2030? If I did that, I'd be 37. What is minus 90 times, that would be 37. And as you can see, 37 is not on the list. So, but if we do, what is 1989 sorry if we keep doing that. I don't mean to keep doing that. What is 2030? What is 2026 minus 2030. I mean, minus 1989. That would be 37. So the 37s do align in that way, but it doesn't align to what happens. It would make a lot more sense to have something handed off 3 months before something happens to Trump in June. That wouldn't make sense to do it 16 months earlier in 2026. So the numbers make sense when those things combine for 2027, which would be, what is 2027 minus 1989? And that equals 38. So we have a 38 in 2027. See, you see how all these numbers all coming together? But we still have a 2026 that is unaccounted for. It's right here. And that's when it begins. That's when the phase begins. And that would start on March 5th of 2026. And that's what I'm expecting. Something's going to happen. I would expect something. It would have to be something that's under the rug that would catch. It would catch. Well, Jake wouldn't know it was about him specifically, but it would definitely catch his attention if you look back on it. And that's what, of course, happened in D.C. Something involving Trump or his friends, or it would be something along the lines of some. See, it would have to be an opening statement to get ready for 2027, because 2027, once you have that opening and gate opened, then you could say something like, Trump does something that lowers federal power, or something like that from DC, and that would build up and stack to align with these other dates right here that I've got, that you can see right here. So yeah, so it starts in 2026, but nothing big happens until March 5th of 2027. That's what the numbers show. It's all reflective of each other. Interestingly enough, someone brought this up to me, and today actually, and it was about Vance. How old is Vance in one number? I'm trying not to have it give me an entire list of things, or I'm going to have to read it, and I don't want to do that. Which Vance are you referring to? I don't need birthdays, I don't need birth years, just give me the year. Vance was born in 1984, 2026 minus 1984 equals 42. Right now, 2025 minus 1984 is 41. So the number you're looking for is 41. So let's add Vance to this. 41 equals 2025. But then watch this. How old were... Now I'm going to show you a problem with this. That he doesn't align with what I'm talking about. And I'll get in detail with that. So how old will Vance be in 2028 in one word? In 2028, Vance will be 44. Alright, so that's at the next election. That's 20. So 44 equals 2028. Alright, the math all aligns here. So we got this 41-44 pattern going. The problem is, these 41 and 44, they occur before April 14th of any year, before April 20th, April 14th of any year of 2030, 20, whatever year it is. Vance's birthday is on August 2nd. So he comes after April 14th. So he doesn't align to anything. Another interesting thing is Zelensky. He was 41 when he was president of Ukraine. How old was Zelensky when he was president of Ukraine? And he was 41. The number 41 is very important. I'm not going to get into detail with that. But it does involve the Middle East. Volodymyr Zelensky was born January 25th, 1978 and became president of Ukraine on May 20th, 2019. So he'd be 41 years. So he was 41 years old when he became president. So we got another 41 for 2019. So we're gonna say how old is Zelensky in now this one is different in 2022 and he was 44. So we say 44 equals 2022. That's when the Ukraine war started. I'm going to go into this. So he was born on January 25th. Oh. Did I say he was born on May 20th? I meant to say January 25th. 1978. President of Ukraine on May 20th. That's the inaugurations and all that. Which again happens before April 14th. And Zelensky was 44 in 2022 before April 14th. So that aligns. So people could see him as a savior. He does fit the savior number of 41. It's a Middle Eastern thing. They're waiting for someone to appear on the world stage who's 41. So he's 44 years old in 2022. So, but the problem, there's problems because now Israel was at war. Well, Israel got into war in 2023, which is after 2044, but that's fine. There's no problem with it. If he was born after April 14th, then he wouldn't apply. He couldn't qualify for this. But because he's born on January 25th, actually, I believe that's Aquarius, if I remember correctly. Let's do the zodiac sign of Zelensky and his Chinese zodiac. What zodiac sign is Zelensky and his Chinese zodiac? You could also add in also the Jewish, was it Hebrew zodiac? There's also that too. I'm not going to do that one. Maybe I should do that. Actually, I should do that one. So his Russian zodiac is the Aquarius, and the Chinese zodiac is the horse. So he's Aquarius horse. Earth horse specifically. What is his? I do not know if you say Hebrew or if you say Jewish. I'm thinking it might be Hebrew. That's just a guess, I don't know. He was born on January 25th, 1974, which is 17 of Shavat. Is that the same? I don't think so. Is it? miraculous escape from destruction. Approximately 1420, some sources say 1440, a Jewish apostate in Saragossa, I'm guessing it's Saragossa, informed the king that the Jewish community was showing disrespect by parading with empty Torah cases, having left the actual sacred scrolls in the ark. He proposed this as a pretext for the king to take punitive action against the Jews, which could have led to their destruction. However, the night before the planned event, the beadle sexton of the synagogue were all visited in a dream by the prophet Elijah. Who warned them to return the Torah scrolls to their cases. The beadles acted on this warning, and when the king's officials checked the cases the next day, they found the informant's claims to be false. The king, convinced the miracle had occurred, executed the apostate instead, saving the Jewish community. Who was the informant? Jewish apostate. Oh, it was a Jewish apostate. Remember to the salvation, 18th of Shabbat, mini Purim. New Year for trees on the 15th of the month. What number did we get for what was it, 2031? I have to do that calculation right quick. So let me go up here. Let's do Gregorian. Feb 18, 2030. No, 2031. 25th is Shabbat. That's what we're getting. No, wait, it'll be 24th is Shabbat because it's February 17th. Alright. Alright, I just wanted to know that. So, you got the mini Purim. Purim also plays a role in this as well. I forget exactly. I remember coming across it a few years ago. I don't remember details. So let's read this. 17 Shabbat, Hebrew Zodiac, the most, I don't know how to pronounce that. Mazal. I'm not going to try. In the Hebrew Zodiac system, Shabbat is Aquarius. So Zelensky's Hebrew Zodiac sign is Aquarius, the same as his Russian Zodiac sign. My Zodiac sign is not Aquarius in the Hebrew Zodiac. Since we're on the topic, we might as well do everybody. So I think we're ready to come to the conclusion that all these numbers add up together. But we don't have a 44. The 2033, that would be Jake's age, and he's 3 years older. In my particular case, let's do that math real quick. What is 1992? Doing it again. What is how would I do that? What is that'd be like 2036, wouldn't it? What is 2036 minus 1992? 44. So something is good. I don't know what's gonna happen, but something's gonna happen in 2030. What is it? 2036. So yeah, all these numbers add up together from recent times and things just coming together like this. We have to wait till 2026. Well, yeah, you have to wait till 2027 till something happens. Now, you could say that something does happen in 2026, so it would be I'm just going to do it that way. I'm sorry. I'll just convert the negative. Is 37. Yeah, I'll be 37 in 2029, but I'm not doing anything in 2029 because dates don't add up. So I'm going by the timeline. I'm going by the mathematical pattern. I'm not going by what you would assume that I would do. So I would do 37. And you could go down a huge list for this. But in 2026 of March 5th, I would be 34. I'll be 34 years old. See, and now when you do that, we start getting out of the alignments. But you see a pattern of 3 years. So yeah. So they got alignment in 2026. They're not aligned. So you have to wait till 2027 for something big to occur. And it has to be reflected in the president seat. And like I said, we didn't know that until June 9th of the video. And I think, when did I make that video? Was it June 16th? So it's around the same time that this stuff is going to go down in 2027. In June of 2027. So let's go back up here and read this. What is Hebrew, Chinese, and Western Zodiac for February 18th, 1992? Western Zodiac is Aquarius. This is the last day of Aquarius before Pisces begins. Chinese Zodiac is the monkey. Chinese New Year in 1992 was February 4th, 1992. So February 18th is firmly inside the year of the monkey, specifically the water monkey. I remember when I did that Christian video about, you know, the guy who always called himself the second coming of Christ and all that, and the Sonic Shoe thing. ChatGPT made an error and it said that I was the metal monkey. I should have caught that. I didn't. But yes, the water monkey. Hebrew Zodiac. This word, I cannot pronounce that. It says Pisces. February 18, 1992 is 14th Adar 1. I think I mentioned in a previous video that I was actually born in Adar 1. There's Adar 1 and Adar 2, and that only occurs in leap years. So there's an Adar 2 and Adar 1 in the year 5752 in 1992 on the Gregorian, 5752 in the Hebrew calendar. That would be a leap year, and that would have been a leap year in the Gregorian as well. Let's confirm that. Was 1992 a leap year? You can also do the math. It's like every 4 years. It says yes, 1992 was a leap year because it is divisible by 4. So yeah, that's a 802 in the Hebrew calendar, for those who didn't know. And I was also born on the full moon as well. It was actually a super moon, and it was actually the brightest super moon until like 2005. So there was that too. It says the Hebrew month Adar and Adar 1 in a leap year corresponds to whatever that says, which is Pisces in the Hebrew zodiac. So we're gonna tell ChatGPT to do another one. What is the same zodiacs for zodiac systems for. So what is the same zodiac systems for March 5th, 1989? So it says Western zodiac is Pisces, Chinese zodiac is the snake. Chinese New Year in 1999 was February 6, 1989, which started the year of the Earth Snake. Interesting, it's a snake. I've thought about him being the Antichrist figure, but there's also a redemption about it too. We got two figures now. We got the snake and we got the dragon, and you got the monkey in the middle. You do get the monkey in the middle. Although I was born after everybody else, but the first comes last, I guess. Or last comes first. Wait, no. Last comes first. First is last. So there. So Earth Snake. I didn't even read that. I just said so Earth Snake. I wasn't even reading that. I was about to read this. March 5th falls inside that year. Hebrew zodiac is whatever that is. March 5th, 19th corresponds to 28th of Adar 1. That's interesting because in 2030, February 28th is a very important date. I didn't do this calculation before, but I know that 28th of the second month is very important. I'm not going to tell you what that is, but read them between the lines, I guess. Now, you wouldn't have been able to figure it out, and I'm not going to tell you here in the Hebrew calendar. But I will say that something happens on February 28th of 2033. It says the Hebrew month Adar 1 corresponds to... It's interesting we were also born in Adar 1, which was also a leap year. We were born both in leap years. Interesting. We got like a 3-year difference between us, but we're actually 4 years apart. Right? 3 years difference, but 4 years apart. Because it happens every 4 years. So he's a Pisces. So he's Pisces in Western, Pisces in Hebrew, and Chinese zodiac. So that's interesting. Yeah, I did all the math here. You guys see all this? And I was just wanting to do this for March 5th of 2026 because if something happened, like I said, it would be in hindsight, and then I won't be able to do this video, and I found it very important to do this video. So, yeah. Very important calculations. I'm thinking about something. I want to do math on something. What is 1954 minus 1991? 37. Oh wait, no, it wouldn't be 1991, it would be 1992. It's 38. So we got another 38 on the list. So someone else had to come around in 1990. Let's do... No, I don't know what that connects to. But I do know that it's someone's birthday. let me do. Let me open Safari. You won't be able to see this. I'm doing something. Hang on, I got that wrong. It would be, I'm 3 years off. What is 1952 minus 1989? That might be right. Let's see. 37. We got 37, we got 38. I know. I think that. Let's say it was 1990. It would have been 1990. There's nothing of importance that I know that happened in 1990. The only in my life what happened in 1990 was I had a brother. I don't think we talked about him. I had a brother who was named Joshua. I think we did talk about Joshua. Yeah, he died when he was before he was born. Yeah, it was a miscarriage, and yeah, that was in 1990, and that was 38. 38. But yeah, nothing directly comes to me in 1990. But yeah, I don't think of any big event that happened in 1990. I think there was one. In 19. What major event happened in 1990 in the USSR? The Declaration of Russian Sovereignty, June 12th of 1990. Huh. That sounds important. June 12th would be. When is. I don't want details. When is U.S. Flag Day in one sentence? June 14th. So this is June 12th of 1990, 2 days before U.S. Flag Day. Declared state sovereignty, meaning Russian laws took priority over Soviet laws. The event basically triggered the collapse of the USSR because once Russia itself asserted sovereignty, the Union could no longer function. June 12th is still celebrated today in Russia as Russia Day. Boris Yeltsin elected chairman of the Russian Supreme Soviet in May of 1990. June, which would be before June, a month before June. This elevated Yeltsin into direct conflict with Gorbachev. Also, what happened was the prime minister of Yeltsin we'll have an answer to that question after I read this. Economic collapse accelerates severe shortages, hyperinflation beginning, and rationing expanding. Gorbachev elected president of the USSR in March of 1990. I believe that was the same. I could be wrong. I think that the elections for Ukraine started in March. Like on March 31st is like the last day or something like that. And then they get sworn in May. So it skips April. He became the first and last president of the Soviet Union. That was because Gorbachev, he made, instead of general secretaries, he put president on the title. The biggest event in one line, World War II in 1990, began with formal dismantling of the USSR. Who was the Prime Minister of Boris Yeltsin in one sentence? The longest serving one was Viktor Chernom. I don't know how to say that. Who was his last one in one sentence? Boris Yeltsin's last prime minister was Vladimir Putin, and that's how he became president. Yep. Yeah, he was born in 1952. That was the year I was using. That's why I asked what happened in 1990 in the USSR. Let's do when does Ukraine hold elections in one sentence? Last Sunday of October. It says that the Central Election Commission of Ukraine supervised presidential elections occur on the last Sunday of March in the 5th year of the president's term. So yeah, it was in March. The national elections are set for the last Sunday of October. Kind of like a harvesting, year of a harvest sort of thing. Month of the harvest. If you, last Sunday, Harvest Sunday, yeah, you could say that. Sunday of March. I don't know how often the last Sunday of March would be. I think that's sometimes Easter. I think. Let's ask. Is Easter sometimes? I'm trying to not have to read so much. I said, is Easter sometimes on the last Sunday of March? In March. Yes or no? Yes, Easter can sometimes fall on the last Sunday in March. Alright. That makes sense. Yeah, they're not sworn in until May. So you get April as a gap for some reason. I don't know. How is it in the United States? Isn't it? Aren't the elections like in November? When do presidential elections end in the U.S.? It's going to give me a long thing to read, isn't it? Okay. It says the United States president election ends, meaning the main vote is cast on election day, which is always the Tuesday after the first Monday in November. Alright, so you get November, December, January. It's one in on January 20th. So it's the same it has a month gap between. That's interesting, because when you think about that, if it's in November, December, you have a gap, and then the inauguration is on January 20th. Sometimes the 21st. Depends on if it's a weekend or not. Um, um, so yeah, and what happens in December is Christmas. It's, you know, the whole Jesus thing, Jesus' birthday, which isn't actually his birthday. Um, that was a Roman thing. Christianople, I believe, did that. I could just ask ChatGPT. Let's see. I said, is the inauguration always on January 20th in one sentence? And if not, why? No, the inauguration is not always on January 20th, because if January 20th falls on a Sunday, the public ceremony is moved to January 21st, while a private oath is still taken on the 20th. And I just said that. It's not always on the 20th, it's sometimes on the 21st. If it's, and I said it was on because of a weekend. More specifically, if it's on Sunday, being that weekend. So you can do it on Saturday, but you can't do it on Sunday. So it said, who made December 25th Christmas and said it was Jesus' birthday in one word? Oh, it's Julius. I thought it was Constantinople. I know that he did. Maybe he brought Christianity into the Roman Empire. Let's ask. I thought it was. I don't know how to spell that. Constantinople. Was it Constantine? Is it Constantine Constantinople? I forget. I don't know much about Roman Empire stuff. Constantine, not Constantinople. Here's the key for who set December 21st as Christmas. Pope Julius first. Oh, I thought you meant Julius Caesar. I was like, yeah, I never heard of that. Is the one traditionally credited with declaring December 25th as the celebration of Jesus' birth. Constantine's rule. Constantine did not declare December 20th as Jesus' birthday. What he did do was legalize Christianity and support its spread, which helped Christmas become widely observed, but he did not set the date. Yeah, I knew that Constantine had something to do with Christianity. And that's what I was thinking. I was getting him confused. Who was Constantinople? I know, we're going down a rabbit hole again. Who was Constantinople? Sometimes we come up to information that we never thought about we ever do. Constantinople isn't a person, it's a city. Constantinople was the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire, named after Emperor Constantine the Great. Maybe that's why I got him confused, because it was named after Constantine. It is the modern day Istanbul in Turkey. Istanbul. Why people confuse Constantine and Constantinople? So I'm guessing it's a common thing. Yeah. I think I knew that. Yeah, I did know that it was Istanbul. A long time ago. That sounds familiar to me. No, because it says Eastern Roman Empire. I'm not gonna show this on ChatGPT. It says Eastern Roman Empire. So does that mean there was a Western Roman Empire? You guys can do that on your own. But yeah, I just wanted to go down here and make this video before March 5th of 2026. And I made the video what I needed to do. I showed you the 41s, 45s, showed you all these numbers right here and how they align. And how in 2026 they start to lose convergence. But then they really converge beginning in oh wait, made a mistake here. I meant to say 2019, not 2026. I know people probably yelling at the screen, you put 2 instead of 1. Yeah, it's 2029 is 41. So yeah, all of these numbers align. Everything is accounted for. Everything makes sense. But the thing is, actually, now that I'm looking at this, I do see a pattern here. This is Zelensky's, right? So this is one person. This is 2019 and 2022. When Zelensky was elected and when the Ukraine war started. But then when you look at these, like 2030 and 2033, these are two different people. This is the same person. 2033, 2036, that's me. 2038, 2030, and 38 and 2027. These are two different people. And then you have one 2025 and 2028. These are these the same. 41, 2025, 2028. Who is that? Actually. 2025. Oh, that's Vance. That's one person. So that's one person right there. There's one person right here. But then you have these other two. Okay, we're missing a date, I think. We're looking. No. These are two different people. These are two different people. Wait, no. These are two different people. These are the same person. Same. That's me. Let's write this down. So this is Jake's. This is mine. This is mine and Jake's. This is Vance's. And this is Zelensky's. So we got Jake, mine and Jake's, Vance's and Zelensky's. So yeah, for the individual people, major events have occurred in those years for these two as an individually. But in 2027, 2030, they start to converge between me and Jake. And then 44, those, I don't know what happens in 2036. These videos in 2033. And then we have Jake again in 2030 and 2033. So individually. And then I'm 38 in 2030, Jake is 38 in 2027, then Vance 41 in 2025, 2028, 44 in 2028, and Zelensky's 41 equals 2019, 44 equals 2022. So yeah, I I think that's all the numbers we need. I think everything aligns. There's no missing numbers. There's no... We got the... Oh, wait. We are missing a 41 on mine and a 44 on his. Wait, no. Hang on. No. Mine and Jake's are right here. He's 44 in 2033. And then we do it again in 3030. Yeah, so 41, 2030, then my 38 is in 2030. His 41 is 2033. My 44 is in 2033. My 44 is in 2036. So let me go through here and find out any pattern. So we got 2033. 44 is 20. That's Jake's. No, that's mine. This is mine. It makes more sense if I did. Jake's is 2030. And there's 2033. 38 is... No, his 38 is 2027. I should make this better. I could add another. I need to add another thing to this. So I don't get confused, because I'm getting confused trying to put all these numbers in my head at once. So we got 2030, we got 2027, and we got a 20. Go on. I'm trying to get all these numbers in my head. Okay, he's got 2027 on his. He's got a 2030 on his. And he's got a 2033. Okay. So I'm going to write that down. And mine is 20. There is no significance in my life from 20. So, yeah, there has to be something that happens in 2036. Because nothing happens in my life up until 2030. But Jake starts in 2027. So it's before me. Okay. I don't see any missing numbers here. Because we're perfectly converged after 2027, 2030. We're just a 3-year offset. I don't see anything off here. Yeah, because of 3 years apart. We got 3 threes. 38 plus 41 is 38. That is 3, isn't it? 38 minus 41 is 3. Well, negative 3, but I'm just saying 3. So yeah. I don't see any missing dates here. Now you could go further and say, well, what happened to Zelensky and Vance when they were 38? I don't know. I think, isn't that when sorry guys. It says, when did serving other people show on TV? In 1 year. I meant to say in one word. I guess year does apply. because I was looking for the year. 2015. So what is 41 minus... Well, actually, what is 2019 minus 2015? Is that 3? 4. Okay, 2014. 2016. How old was Zelensky in 2015? I'm typing really fast here. So he was 37 in 2015. So something must have happened in 2016. Not that I'm aware of. I don't know. I don't know much about Zelensky in that manner. What happened to him in 2016? But we can always use ChatGPT to figure it out. What significant event happened with Zelensky in 2016? Well, we're already at 1 hour. I just looked at that earlier and it was like 38 minutes. One significant that happened with Zelensky in 2016 is that a film adaptation of his TV series Servant of the People was released. Okay, that's interesting because I was just up here wondering when did his TV show come out? It said 2015, but now there was a movie. I didn't know there was a movie, and it was released in 2016. Interesting. Now I'm curious. I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm gonna figure out what. What was that one thing I said I wasn't gonna do earlier? I don't even remember. I said I wasn't gonna do something in this video. When was Vance 38 years old? In one word. In 1 year. Well, let's say in one... What? I'm just gonna let it answer. When was Vance 38 years old? I just got a notification for Duolingo. Vance was born in 1984, so he turned 38 in 2022. Well, we know the Ukraine war happened in 2022. If I put what significant event happened in 2022, of course we'll get the Ukraine war. So it all connects. But we're going to do it anyways. What significant event happened in 2022? A lot of major happened in 2022, so I need to know which context you mean. U.S. politics, Ukraine, Russia, or JD. If you mean JD Vance, then the significant 22 event was JD Vance was elected to the U.S. Senate in 2022. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was in the Senate. Very interesting. It's interesting how this stuff aligns so well. I don't know. I'd say it right now. I didn't say it before. I kind of... But I'll say it now. I am... Like... Based on everything I'm saying right here and what I've collected over the years of Vance, I would say that he is you know, and it's kind of our... Well... I would definitely say he's in the spook territory. If you don't know what that is. He is definitely in spook territory. You guys immediately know what I mean by that if you're in the United States, if you know slang. In a sentence, what is a spook in slang? In slang, a spook is a term for a spy or an intelligence operative. And Vance was always against the intelligence agencies before he became. Yeah, he was always against it. But I would definitely suspect that he definitely followed. I mean, if you know these patterns and everything, and you're aware of these patterns, you have to be. You gotta be. Especially if you're gonna be president in 2028. If I know you're gonna be president in 2028, other people do too. So yeah, I'll end it here. So yeah, I'm over an hour. I know I've done a lot of videos, long videos lately, but I figured this one was important, and we just went down the rabbit hole. You know, trying to end the connections, tie up loose ends, and yeah. So thank you for watching. I'll end it here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, I'm sorry for looking like that, from this angle. I think it's my chair. I don't know. But I was looking way over here, and I noticed when I was doing that in the entire video, I should be looking straight, and a little bit over here to see ChatGPT. Like, actually, it's because of this window, I think. See, like right now, I'm looking straight at ChatGPT. But I was looking over at right over this way, which is way far away. I don't know. I still gotta work on monitors and stuff. Trying to get straight ahead. Difficult to do. I mean, I do got a big enough monitor, but I might need a curved monitor. Maybe that's what I need. I don't like curved monitors, but if it makes my life easier, for my YouTube videos, I guess maybe that's a solution. I don't know. But anyways, I'll end it here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.